Welcome to the world of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. Enjoy the listening.
The bustling spaceport on Terra Nova was a crossroads for countless civilizations, each bringing their own customs, languages, and goods. Amid the throng, Alex maneuvered his way through vendors and buyers, his eyes on the myriad of alien technologies and crafts on display. The aromas of exotic foods mingled with the clangor of metal and the hum of conversation in 1,000 dialects. As he approached a stall showcasing rare minerals, a slight collision diverted his attention. He had bumped into someone, a tall, slender figure with shimmering blue skin and wide, curious eyes. "I'm terribly sorry," Alex apologized, steadying the alien, who was examining her surroundings with a fascinated gaze. The alien, who introduced herself as Zara, waved off his concern with a graceful hand. "No harm done. I am just unfamiliar with your bustling markets. They are quite different from Varelia's silent trade hubs." Intrigued by her interest, Alex smiled. "Varelia, you say? I've heard tales about your world's vast libraries and tranquil gardens. Never been there myself, though." Zara's eyes lit up. "Yes, it's peaceful, quite the contrast to this lively place. And you are a human, correct? I am here to study different cultures. May I accompany you? Perhaps you could explain the purpose of these items." She gestured toward a collection of antique Earth devices. "Of course, I'd be happy to. I'm Alex. And as for these, they're mostly old Earth gadgets. Collectibles, really. More decorative than functional these days." They moved on together, Alex picking up a small, intricate device and handing it to Zara. "This, for instance, is a 20th century Earth camera. Humans used it to capture images, like a visual record of moments in time." Fascinated, Zara turned the camera over in her hands. "Amazing. On Varelia, we use biocrystals that record not just sights, but smells and emotions. This seems so quaint." As they wandered, their conversation meandered through topics of technology, food, and art. Alex introduced Zara to a vendor selling human street food. "You must try this. It's a traditional snack from Earth called pretzel. Salty, a bit crunchy." Zara took a tentative bite, her face brightening. "Delicious. It has a simplicity that is quite delightful. On Varelia, our foods are usually mixed with various flavor enhancers. Eating something this straightforward is refreshing." With each stall they visited and each item they discussed, the alien's notebook, filled with neat, precise script, grew thicker with observations. Alex found himself growing increasingly impressed by Zara's quick understanding and her insightful questions. "As a merchant, I travel a lot," Alex explained as they paused to watch a holographic display of a galaxy. "But I rarely get the chance to really delve deep into other cultures like you do." "That must be both exciting and frustrating," Zara observed, her gaze still fixed on the swirling galaxies before them. "It is. But today has been an eye-opener, thanks to you. Maybe you should consider being my guide when I visit Varelia?" Zara chuckled, her laughter musical and light. "I would like that very much, Alex. It seems there is much we can learn from each other." As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows over the spaceport, Alex and Zara agreed to meet the next day to explore more of the human zone together. The unexpected meeting at the market had opened the door to what promised to be a remarkable exchange of knowledge and friendship. The following morning, Alex guided Zara through the secured airlock into his spacecraft, a modest trader vessel named the Wanderer. The interior was a blend of utilitarian metal surfaces and personal touches, like hand-drawn maps and family photos. "This is where I spend most of my time when I'm not on planets trading," Alex explained as he led Zara into the main living area. "It's not as spacious as your Varelian ships, I bet, but it's home." Zara looked around with interest, touching the soft, worn fabric of a couch. "It's very cozy. On Varelia, our spaces are designed to maximize tranquility. Much less personal, I'm afraid." Alex grinned. "Well, let's make you feel at home. How about some human hospitality? Coffee? It's a traditional Earth drink. I've read about it." "I'd love to try some," Zara responded, her eyes wide with curiosity. As the coffee brewed, Alex pulled out a small box filled with various human artifacts. I thought you might like to see some of these. Each one tells a bit of Earth's history. He handed her a small, metallic object. This is called a compass. Explorers used it for navigation before digital maps were common. Zara turned the compass in her hand, watching the needle swing. Fascinating how you used magnetic fields. We use star alignments and quantum positioning. Their conversation was interrupted by the whistle of the coffee maker. Alex poured the dark, aromatic liquid into 2 cups, offering one to Zara. Taking a cautious sip, Zara's face brightened. It's very robust. Quite invigorating. Glad you like it, Alex said, chuckling. It's a staple for early mornings or long nights. Speaking of which, how do you manage time on Varelia? Given the tranquility you mentioned, our concept of time isn't strict. We focus more on the task than how long it takes. It fosters a less stressful environment, Zara explained, taking another sip of her coffee. As they chatted, Alex showed her more items. Old coins, a vinyl record, and a collection of stamps. Each of these items might seem trivial, but they're snapshots of human culture. Our economics, music, and communication. Zara was particularly taken with the vinyl record. May I hear what it sounds like? Of course. Alex set up an old record player, and soon, the room filled with the sounds of a classic earth jazz band. Zara listened intently, her head swaying slightly with the rhythm. This music, it's so lively and filled with emotion. It's very different from Varelian harmonics, which are more structured and serene. As the record spun, Alex invited Zara to try a human dance. It's called swing. It goes with the music. With a laugh, Zara agreed, and Alex showed her the basic steps. Despite some initial stumbles, they soon found a rhythm, laughing and spinning around the small space. Dancing is a big part of human culture, Alex explained as they caught their breath. It's a way to celebrate, to express joy or sorrow, or just to feel connected to others. Zara nodded, her expression thoughtful. On Varelia, our movements are more ritualistic, meant to align with cosmic rhythms. What you have here, it's so spontaneous, so vibrant. It's wonderful. Their dance led to more discussions about human and Varelian rituals, celebrations, and daily life. As the evening approached, Alex offered to prepare a simple earth meal, which they enjoyed while continuing their cultural exchange. I've learned so much today, Zara said as they finished their meal. Your world is full of surprises, Alex, and I've only just scratched the surface of learning about Varelia from you, Alex replied, smiling. There's so much more to discover. As Zara prepared to leave, they agreed to explore the spaceport's library the next day, hoping to deepen their understanding of each other's worlds even further. Alex watched her go, feeling a profound sense of connection. This unexpected friendship was quickly becoming one of the highlights of his journeys. The next morning, Alex and Zara met at the entrance of the spaceport library, a vast archive of galactic knowledge that towered over the surrounding structures. As they entered, the cool, quiet halls filled with digital and physical texts from across the universe seemed to welcome them into a realm of shared discovery. Wow, this place is incredible, Zara exclaimed, her eyes scanning the high ceilings crammed with data stacks. It's one of my favorite spots to hang out when I'm docked here, Alex admitted as he led her toward the human culture section. You can find almost anything about any known species here. They settled at a terminal, and Alex started pulling up various databases on human history. Here's something I think you'll find interesting. Historical accounts of Earth before the digital age. Zara leaned over the screen, fascinated. Your species has undergone such rapid changes in such a short period. It's quite remarkable. Alex chuckled. Yeah, we tend to keep ourselves busy. What about Varelians? How has your society evolved? Our evolution has been more gradual, focused on spiritual and intellectual growth. We value stability and harmony over change, Zara explained, her voice reflecting pride in her culture. Intrigued, Alex suggested, why don't you show me some Varelian history? It'd be great to see the contrast. Zara agreed and navigated the database to her home planet's archives. She showed him images of Varelian architecture, with its flowing lines and harmonious designs that seemed to blend seamlessly with the natural environment. As they explored each other's histories, the conversation turned to more personal topics. Alex shared anecdotes from his travels, while Zara spoke of her experiences as an anthropologist, studying other cultures and bringing those learnings back to her people. I've always believed that to really understand another culture, you have to experience it firsthand, Alex said thoughtfully. Like with food, for example. Speaking of which, have you ever tried any other human dishes besides pretzels? Zara's eyes sparkled with curiosity. I haven't yet, but I would love to. Let's go then. Alex stood, offering his hand to help her up. There's a great place nearby that serves dishes from Earth's various regions. You can get a taste of multiple cultures in one go. The pair made their way to a small, cozy restaurant within the spaceport that specialized in Earth cuisine. As they settled into their seats, Alex ordered a selection of dishes: Italian pasta, Indian curry, and Mexican tacos. With each dish, Zara experienced a new spectrum of flavors. This is extraordinary. Each dish tells a story, doesn't it? The spices, the preparation. It's like a dance of cultures on my tongue. Alex enjoyed watching her reactions. Exactly. Food is a gateway to understanding people. It's something that everyone shares, no matter where you're from. Their meal was filled with laughter and stories, and by the time they finished, the bond between them had deepened. They walked back to the library, discussing their plans for the next day. How about we take a look at some traditional human and Virelian music tomorrow? Alex suggested. Music is another powerful expression of culture. Zara nodded enthusiastically. I would love that. To hear the music of your people, and perhaps share some of ours. It sounds like a perfect next step. As they parted ways for the evening, both felt a growing appreciation not just for each other's cultures, but for the unexpected friendship that was blossoming between them. This cultural exchange was turning into a profound connection that neither had anticipated. The following day, as Alex guided Zara back to the Wanderer, his mind was bustling with ideas for their music-sharing session. Once inside, he started setting up the sound system with an assortment of music from Earth's diverse cultures. Music has always been a vital part of human expression, Alex explained as he sorted through his collection. It transcends language and connects us on an emotional level. Zara, intrigued by the various album covers and devices, picked up an old, portable music player. What is this one? That's an MP3 player. It was pretty popular before cloud streaming became the norm, Alex said, showing her how to use it. He selected a playlist and handed it back to her. Here, listen. As Zara put on the headphones, her expression transformed with the first notes. This is fascinating. The rhythms, the melodies, they're so different from anything on Virelia. Encouraged by her enthusiasm, Alex played a jazz track, explaining the genre's evolution and its roots in human history. Zara listened intently, her feet tapping to the beat. Smiling, Alex then switched to a classical track. This is Beethoven, considered one of the greatest composers in human history. As the symphony swelled, Zara seemed lost in thought. There's such depth and complexity here. Virelian music focuses more on harmony and balance, reflecting our societal values. Their discussion about music naturally flowed into sharing of each other's personal favorites. Zara introduced Alex to Virelian harmonics, playing a soft, ethereal tune that filled the room with a calming aura. It's beautiful, Alex said genuinely, closing his eyes to better appreciate it. It's soothing, almost meditative. With a mutual appreciation for each other's culture, the day progressed smoothly until Zara stumbled upon a stack of books and films about human relationships and romance. Her curiosity piqued as she picked up a novel, flipping through the pages before her expression clouded with confusion. Alex, this text, it seems to suggest that humans require elaborate rituals to initiate mating. Is this accurate? She asked, genuinely puzzled. Laughing, Alex took the book from her, a blush creeping onto his cheeks. Oh, that's a romance novel. It's fiction, more about entertainment than actual instruction. Human relationships can be complex, but they're not usually as dramatic as in that book. Oh, I see, Zara said, a slight chuckle escaping her lips. I must admit, the emotional intensity it described made me think it was a guide of some sort. It's easy to see how it could seem that way, Alex agreed. Romance novels tend to dramatize emotions and situations to tell a compelling story. but they do reflect some true aspects of human desire and love. Zara nodded thoughtfully. In Varelia, we don't have an equivalent. Our literature is more focused on philosophy and ethics. Intrigued by her mention of Varelian literature, Alex suggested, maybe you could share some of your literature tomorrow? I'd love to learn about what inspires and moves you. Zara agreed, pleased with the idea. I would like that very much. It's fascinating how our cultures use stories and music to express such different aspects of our lives. As the evening wound down, Alex and Zara continued their exchange, discussing the nuances of emotional expression in their respective cultures. Each story and song deepened their understanding not just of human and Varelian culture, but also of each other. As Zara left for the night, they both felt a deep satisfaction with their growing friendship and the rich tapestry of culture they continued to explore together. Alex watched her go, already looking forward to their next meeting, eager to dive even deeper into the heart of Varelian philosophy. The following day, Alex prepared for Zara's visit by setting up a quiet corner in his spacecraft for reading and discussion. He was eager to delve into Varelian literature, an aspect of her culture she held in high regard. Zara arrived with a small data crystal in hand, which contained an anthology of Varelian classics. I thought we could start with some foundational texts, she explained as she handed the crystal to Alex, who inserted it into his reader. The texts appeared on the screen, their characters strange and curving, accompanied by a translation in Standard Galactic. Alex read a few lines aloud, his tongue stumbling over the unfamiliar names and places. This is a passage from the Chronicles of Ilia, Zara began. It's a reflection on the nature of knowledge and existence. Very influential in Varelian thought. As they read, Alex was struck by the depth of the philosophical insight. It's very introspective. Makes you think about the bigger picture. Zara nodded, pleased. Exactly. We value literature that challenges the mind and spirit. What are your thoughts on this concept? She asked, pointing to a passage about the interconnectedness of all life. It's a powerful idea, Alex responded thoughtfully. Human literature sometimes touches on this, but it's more often explored in the context of personal struggle or triumph. Their discussion shifted from the abstract to the personal, and as the hours passed, the barrier between them seemed to thin. They shared more about their own lives, their beliefs, and their aspirations. I've never met anyone quite like you, Alex, Zara confessed, her voice soft. You make me see things from a new perspective. It's refreshing. Alex felt a warmth spread through him. And I've learned so much from you, Zara. About patience, about looking beyond the surface. You've changed how I view the universe. Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. Realization of a deeper connection. Do you think, Alex started, hesitating, that there's more to this? To us? Zara looked down, then back up at him with a serious gaze. I've been wondering that myself, but our cultures, our very beings are so different. Would it even be possible? Maybe we don't need to answer that right now, Alex suggested, his hand reaching out to cover hers. Maybe it's enough to explore these feelings, just as we explore each other's cultures. Zara's hand turned to squeeze his gently. Yes, I would like that. Encouraged, Alex shared more about his family, his travels, and what led him to become a merchant. Zara listened intently, her gaze never wavering from his face. As the evening drew to a close, they agreed to meet again the next day. But this time, instead of delving into more texts or music, they decided to take a walk through the spaceport's botanical gardens. A place where nature, brought from countless worlds, coexisted in harmony. I look forward to it, Zara said as she prepared to leave. Thank you for today, Alex. For opening up your world to me. And thank you for trusting me with yours, Alex replied, feeling a surge of anticipation for what the next day would bring. They parted with a sense of mutual affection and a curiosity that went beyond intellectual exchange, stepping into the unknown territory of personal connection and perhaps something even deeper. The following evening, Alex and Zara met at the spaceport's botanical gardens, a vast, glass-domed sanctuary filled with plants from across the galaxy. As they entered, soft lights glowed among the leaves, illuminating the winding paths with a warm, inviting glow. Alex had been looking forward to this all day, feeling the unmistakable pull of something deeper between them. "This place is incredible," Zara said. Her voice hushed with awe as she took in the lush greenery and shimmering flowers, some of which released a faint, bioluminescent glow. "I've never seen so many different forms of life in one place." "It's a favorite spot of mine," Alex replied, his gaze shifting from the plants to Zara. Peaceful, yet full of life. They strolled along a path lined with tall, silver-leaved trees. Their leaves whispered in the artificial breeze, creating a sense of intimacy in the quiet. Alex found himself wanting to reach for Zara's hand but hesitated, unsure if it would be welcomed. Just as he steeled himself to take the chance, Zara's hand found his, her fingers lacing through his naturally. The touch was gentle, almost tentative, but it sent a thrill through Alex. "I've wanted to do that for a while," he admitted, his voice soft. Zara looked up at him, her expression both surprised and warm. "I have too," she replied, a slight blush coloring her cheeks. "There's something about you, Alex. Something that makes me feel different." They paused beneath an arch of hanging vines that glowed faintly in the dark, casting a soft light around them. Alex took a breath, heart pounding as he reached out, brushing a stray strand of Zara's hair from her face. Her skin was cool to the touch, smooth like silk, and his fingers lingered, drawn by an unfamiliar magnetism. Their faces were close, and the quiet of the garden seemed to close in around them. "Zara," he murmured, barely aware he was speaking. "May I?" In response, Zara closed the small gap between them, her lips meeting his in a tentative kiss that quickly deepened as their mutual hesitation melted away. Her hands slid up to his shoulders, pulling him closer, and he responded in kind, his arms wrapping around her waist. The feel of her body against his, solid and warm, made the world around them blur and fade. When they pulled apart, breathless, Zara looked at him with wide eyes, a mixture of wonder and surprise on her face. "I didn't realize that human touch could feel so intense." Alex smiled, running a hand along her arm. "Neither did I. Maybe it's something about you, Zara. Or maybe it's just us." They continued to explore the garden, their conversation flowing easily between soft laughter and gentle touches, every so often pausing to share a lingering kiss beneath the cover of the glowing flora. With each step, their connection deepened, and by the time they returned to the Wanderer, an unspoken understanding had passed between them. Inside the quiet of his quarters, they shared another kiss, this one slower, more exploratory. Alex brushed his lips down the curve of Zara's neck, her breath hitching in response. They moved instinctively, each touch a discovery, each kiss a question answered. As they lay together, Zara's hands found his, guiding him with surprising confidence. The feeling of her hands, gentle yet insistent, sent a shiver through him, and he responded in kind, mirroring her movements. The connection between them, both emotional and physical, seemed to deepen with every touch, every whispered word. At one point, Zara let out a soft laugh, almost incredulous. "Wow, this thing for reproduction," she said, her voice laced with playful disbelief. "I thought it was a toy." Alex chuckled, burying his face in her shoulder as he joined her laughter. "Well, it does have its recreational uses too," he replied, his voice low and warm. Their laughter dissolved into another kiss, and for a long time, they simply held each other, content in the quiet intimacy they had found together. The initial awkwardness and hesitations were long gone, replaced by a sense of mutual understanding and trust. As they lay close, Zara looked up at Alex, her expression soft. "I never imagined this when I came to study humans. I came looking for knowledge, but I found something far more valuable." Alex brushed a thumb along her cheek, his own expression tender. "So did I, Zara. So did I." They stayed that way, wrapped up in each other, feeling the steady beat of their hearts, two beings from different worlds united in a way neither had ever expected. And in that quiet, in the sanctuary of their newfound closeness, they let themselves simply be, savoring the moment, unspoken promises lying in the space between them. The following morning, Alex and Zara lay side by side, still wrapped in the quiet intimacy of the night before. Light filtered through the small window of Alex's quarters, casting a gentle glow over them. Zara stretched, looking around at the assortment of objects scattered around the room, remnants of Alex's Earth memorabilia. She picked up a small, round object with a confused look. "What is this?" she asked, turning it over in her hands. Alex glanced over and stifled a laugh. That's a human protection device," he explained, still half grinning. "Used for reproduction. Or, more specifically, to prevent it." Zara's face twisted with disbelief, and she held the object at arm's length. "This? But it's so small and flexible. I thought it was a kind of toy." Laughing, Alex reached over and took the object from her hand, tossing it back into the drawer. "Yeah, it can be confusing if you're not familiar with it. Humans have a lot of these little things designed for convenience, but they can look pretty strange." Zara shook her head, still chuckling. "Your species has such curious ways to approach everything. Even something so natural as reproduction needs a tool?" Alex shrugged, amused by her reaction. "Humans are all about control and options. It's part of our culture, I guess. Some see it as taking responsibility, others just, well, it's normal for us." Zara gave him a thoughtful look. "You know, Alex, every time I think I understand humans, something new like this surprises me all over again. There's so much complexity in the smallest things." They shared a laugh, the warmth between them growing with each shared discovery and bit of humor. Zara took a breath, her expression shifting from amusement to a quiet seriousness. "I didn't expect to feel this way," she admitted, her hand resting on his. "Neither did I," Alex replied, covering her hand with his. "But it feels right, doesn't it?" Zara nodded slowly. "Yes. I've never connected with anyone like this, not even among my own people."
It's strange, but in the best way.
They fell into a comfortable silence, fingers interlaced as they sat in the soft morning light, each lost in their own thoughts yet fully present with each other. Finally, Zara looked at him, a gentle smile playing on her lips. "So," she teased, gesturing to the drawer, "are there any other toys I should be aware of?" Alex chuckled, shaking his head. "I think you've seen enough surprises for one morning." She laughed, leaning in to press a light kiss to his cheek. "Well then, let's go get breakfast. I think I've earned more of those Earth foods you keep raving about." "Agreed," Alex said, grinning as he climbed out of bed. "I know the perfect spot. They have pancakes, and trust me, you're going to love them." And with that, they set off to face the day together, each step bringing them closer, both as individuals and as something neither had yet dared to name. Alex and Zara sat together on the viewing deck of the Wanderer, watching the stars drift by as the ship prepared to undock from the spaceport. A gentle hum filled the air, vibrating through the metal walls and floors, adding a comforting backdrop to the quiet moment they shared. They'd both been through so much in the past few days, learning and discovering together, pushing past boundaries they hadn't realized existed. "So, where do we go from here?" Zara asked, her voice barely above a whisper, her eyes on the swirling expanse outside. Alex reached out, his hand covering hers as he considered his response. "Well, my usual route takes me to a few trade stations and then back to Earth. But I've been thinking," he hesitated, searching her face to gauge her reaction. "Would you want to come with me? To Earth, I mean. You'd get to experience human culture firsthand." Zara's eyes widened with surprise, but then a soft smile played on her lips. "I'd love to. Visiting Earth has always been a dream of mine." She paused, her hand gently squeezing his. "But what will your people think? Seeing you with someone like me?" Alex shrugged, a reassuring smile crossing his face. "I'm not worried about that. People who matter will understand. And those who don't? Well, I'm not living my life for them." Her face softened, her gaze warm and steady as she held his hand. "You're a rare one, Alex. You see me as I am, not just as an alien or a study subject. That means more to me than you can imagine." They sat in silence for a moment, letting the words settle. Finally, Alex turned to her, a mischievous grin forming. "So, what do you think of human food now? Pancakes, for example?" "Oh, don't even get me started," Zara laughed, nudging him playfully. I don't think I'll ever get tired of pancakes. Or that coffee. Humans certainly know how to make the most of simple things. He chuckled, leaning back with a satisfied nod. We do have our strengths. I think you'll find a lot of unexpected surprises on Earth. Some good, some weird, and a few that might just make you wonder why you agreed to come with me. Then I look forward to each one, Zara replied, her smile bright. And I promise if it gets too strange, I'll let you know. As they shared another laugh, the final undocking sequence started, signaling the start of their journey. The ship moved slowly away from the spaceport, the stars beginning to shift and realign outside the viewport. Zara's gaze turned contemplative as she looked out, her voice growing soft. It's strange, Alex. I came here expecting only to observe humans, to learn about your culture and understand your ways. I never thought I'd leave with someone beside me. Life's funny like that, Alex replied, his voice matching her tone. It throws surprises our way when we least expect them. All we can do is decide which ones are worth holding on to. They sat in companionable silence as the stars shifted around them, bound for a new world and an uncertain future. But together, they felt ready to face whatever came next. Side by side, their paths entwined. Ready to see Earth? Alex asked, glancing over at her. Zara nodded, a look of determination and excitement in her eyes. More than ready. Lead the way, Alex. And with a final smile, he set the ship's course for Earth, their journey only just beginning.